This is the Note Closer Show, where you get the latest developments in distressed note investing and learn the secrets of how you can control millions of dollars worth of property for pennies on the dollar. Get educated and entertained by someone who has closed thousands of deals and lives to support you in achieving the same. Now, here's your host, CEO of We Close Notes, Scott Carson.
Hey, everybody. So good to see all of you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are located at, if you're watching us live or catching the replay. Honored to have you guys join us here today. It's been a while since we've done some solo episodes, and we're really excited about what we have to share with you, not only today, but also going forward here in 2022. I saw somebody mention that it sounds like you're saying 2022 again. We don't want to see the dumpster fire that was 2020 out there for anybody out there. So we're really excited, actually, about what's going on this year. Glad to have each and every one of you there, wherever you're joining us from. And so one of the things I want to give a shout out to everybody, feel free, if you're watching this live, and we are live streaming this across every channel that we have today, from YouTube to LinkedIn. We're doing some testing out. We'll be doing more live streaming episodes going forward. Yes, we'll still have our amazing content with a lot of our great speakers, and we've got some doozies lined up as amazing guests to share their knowledge and experience, not only on their real estate investing side, but also marketing, raising capital, and closing more deals. That's what we're all here for, right? But it is definitely an interesting year, and just honored to have you all. So let me know, type in the chat roll where you're at, where you're from, what's going on. Hey, good to see you, Christine from Newport, Rhode Island. Glad to have you up in that neck of the woods. We've got people join us from all across the country and the world join us. If you're international, great to have you here as well. But glad to have you join us here. Today's topic is really going to be something that we've been really working on for a while, actually going back to last October. And I know, like many people, people are constantly looking at their marketing. They're looking at their business. What are they doing? How do they need the most hated word in the last 2 years is, how are we going to pivot, right? I hate that word. You're going to tweak things. Yes, and some people do need to pivot. People have been laid off. They had to find a new career. Their deal flow isn't working. And I know, and I hear the frustration from a lot of investors out there. Hey, how do I find deals? How do I find profitable deals? How do I find money? How do I find cheap money? How do I raise capital to fund the deals that I'm looking at? And I get it. It can be difficult out there if you're not keeping up with the times, and also if you're not expanding your audience, expanding really where you're fishing. We all know that, there are ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs, peaks and valleys out there. And honestly, more money is made in a down market than an up market. And I live here in Austin, Texas. I haven't bought anything really here in Austin, Texas for well over a decade, because I have found better deals other places. I've also used what's been given to me by the market to capitalize and make the most. And as I like to say, make lemonade out of lemons. We've all had our fair share of lemons, good deals and bad deals stuff out there. We've all got the scars to go along with it. Brush yourself off and get rock and rolling, get a little thicker skin and get rock and rolling. But I think there is a lot of opportunity that people have to tweak, not pivot, but tweak their focus, tweak some things so they can capitalize on the opportunities that are available out there. And I'm going to really kind of target three things with this episode across the board for you, on things that we've really been reaching out to, doing some marketing, having some aha moments. We all love those aha moments out there. So the first thing I want to talk with you about, I even wrote it down. Scott doesn't usually take notes for a podcast. I usually roll things out. But here's the number one thing that I see from people out there. People, and all you've got to do is look at the different Facebook groups out there, the groups up there. People, where do you find deals? How do I find deals? I'm looking for deals. How do I find deals? And this is the number one thing that you have to think about. You got to do number one, and this is more important than anything else. You've got to market more, all right? You literally have to start marketing differently than most people do. Now, what I mean by that? Well, differently, you have a lot of people in real estate, and our niche of note investing is a completely different niche when it comes to marketing, so I'll get to that in a second. But you've had a lot of people that have taken the opportunity and taken the markets where they're at, and they didn't have to do a lot of work. Everybody makes money in an up market. It's when the market turns south that you really find out the people that know how to market, that build a true business. And one of the biggest mistakes I see on a regular basis is that marketing is not taught. And marketing in today's world is not taught to real estate investors. You still have, unfortunately, I hate to say this, the old guard. And yes, look, a lot of these things still work with direct mail, postcards, yellow letters, bandit signs, door knocking, get all that stuff. And all those things will still work. But you have to put the work in. Now, there's also, too, you also, besides have to put the work and the time in behind it, if you're struggling or bootstrapped financially, you may not have a lot of the capital to be successful on things. So if you look at direct mail having a 1% to 4% response rate, you also have to look at other forms of marketing, but also look at your market. What's working in your market? What's not working in your market? What do you have to do? Do you have to adjust your market? Do you need to find another market? But you have to get into the aspect of marketing more. You have to market more your business and look at things. And that means sending out emails. It means creating a buyer's list. It means creating, jumping on and doing some more in networking at local RIA meetings, or going out and targeting other investors, more passive investors out there, or more people out there that are looking to put money to work. Now, we're all in for some interesting times here over the next few months, next year or so, I would say. All right. We have to thank the news for building all the doom and gloom and fear. Inflation's at 7%. The worst aspect of this, supply chains, empty shelves. I don't know about you guys, but I stopped watching the news way over a year ago because it just got too damn depressing. But a lot of people out there are struggling. And a lot of people out there, good people who've worked hard, they've got money saved, they may have an IRA, stuff like that. They're looking for deals because they're scared of what their money's not making. When you look at and consider the fact that most self-directed IRA companies usually have around 30% of their investments under management making zero, that's all the market that you need to go fund your deals. Not at 8, 10, 12, 15% like a lot of us sharks like to do, right? A lot of the sharks like to look at things. What you have to realize is those people are fearful. They're happy. If you could give them 4% or 6%, hey, they will fund deals all day long because they don't have to do the work. You can loan the money, put a lien against the property, do assignment of collateral, create an LLC with them, whatever. There's a variety of ways to do it legally. Always want to contact your attorney, make sure you do it legally. But the thing you have to realize, everybody, is there is millions and millions of people out there not being served. And they're being served in a plateful of doom and gloom. They're not being served by high investment companies or investment firms. Everybody's chasing the 1 to 5 million more client with a portfolio or a net worth. That smaller market, million or less, is a lot of investors, a lot of people that are still working full time. They're still looking to do some things, and they've got some money saved in their IRA, 401k, or old 401k that they need to put to work because otherwise it's losing value. And that's the biggest thing is reaching out and marketing more to those clients is not difficult. I mean, you can find those individuals in county records. You can find it in your neighborhood. You can find it out networking at other events. You just got to get the word out more about what you're doing. Now, I know, Scott, why are you not wearing a mask? Because I'm on a podcast. Okay? I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not a super spreader. Okay. We know we live in a weird society. We know every city, state's a little bit different. Thank God, we're not Australia in a lot of cases. Thank God we're in other places out there. We'll leave that be because there's some extreme things. You can still market without having to leave the comfort and safety of your home. Now, I'm a big believer you can buy those hazmat suits at Lowe's, those paint suits really cheap. I think that would be funny to show up to a RIA club meeting wearing one of those. I think it would actually be kind of funny showing up in that and say, I'm here to network, but I want to be safe. The way things work online, look, there's so many opportunities. And this is about the market. And we're just going to talk about finding money. We're going to talk about finding deals here in a second, a little bit different. But you have Meetup Groups, you got LinkedIn groups, you got Facebook groups. Facebook groups are basically a dumpster fire. There's a lot of them out there that don't have any activity. They just become a place to post for people to advertise. There's not a lot of deal flow. But when you do post that you've got a deal, when you do post that you're working on something, it leads to a lot of people opting in. We've had some of our students that have posted in LinkedIn, hey, I got a deal that I'm working on. 80 people respond with their emails. We want to fund it, or can we buy it? So that's opportunity for you. So that's the big thing. Posting something real is great. You just got to get the word out what you're doing. There's a lot of meetup groups that are kind of empty that you may be able to join, may be able to post to. There's a group here locally with roughly about 4,000 members that they don't post on a regular basis. And I asked to become a member. I said, hey, listen, I do a Monday night webinar, Note Night in America. Make sure you check it out. We have, we're pretty excited about that upcoming every Monday night for the 12th year now. And you can do it by registering at notenightinamerica.com. I'll actually put that in here in the comment section. And register RSVP for it. It's free. It's recorded. So check it out, notenightinamerica.com. It'll take you into the Zoom link. And then also, guys, I'm going to highly encourage you guys also to subscribe, but we'll get that later on. But literally going into these groups and networking stuff and just posting something, you can instantly have an audience of investors or funding sources. And it's not that difficult. I see a lot of meetup groups that post once a month. They have one event. I was in a note group actually over the weekend, about 678 members, and they post like once a month. They've only added, based on the meetup group, now we know people join other things, but based on their meetup activity, which meetup is one of the best organic places to connect with people automatically, because if somebody goes on meetup and looks for interest, it will automatically recommend things. And I saw this group, about 780 members, had only added roughly about 20 new people in the last 2 years of the meetup group. That means they're not marketing at all. It's an ideal group for what I want to focus on. So what I do, I went on there, connected with them. And I'm starting to post on a regular basis. There's another group, like I said, Austin here, 300 or 3,800 members. Same thing. They were posting once a month. I've started posting in there and suddenly started attracting people because people want to surround themselves with other people doing things. Enough people aren't doing enough stuff. Can we agree to that? We all could be doing more. And that's one of the things. There's so many great resources. If you're posting something of value, hey, here's a deal that I'm working on. Here's a case study. You'd like more like it. I don't care if you haven't done a deal in a year or two. Go on and pull up my past case study. Those are such valuable things because people want to surround themselves and want to connect with the 1% of people actually doing something. And those are some things that you can do easy enough to market to. Now, one of the things, if you're looking for deal flow, I know I want more deals, right? Number 2 is pretty easy. Follow up. Okay. And what I mean by follow up? Well, follow up is one thing that I think we've prided ourselves on with what we've done for the last, as note investors since 2010, is the follow up. A lot of us in the note business, this is also in a real estate basis, there are a lot of deals that fall through. There's a lot of deals where somebody makes an offering, and this is in real estate, fix and flipping or stuff like that. There's a lot of deals that fall through where they don't get to the closing table. They get to that spot and something happens. They find something wrong, a lien that needs to take some time to clear up, or the value comes back a little off, and they don't complete the transaction. Well, if you're an investor, especially in the distressed note space or the performing note space, I highly recommend you follow up. If you make an offering and it doesn't get approved, follow up in 30 days. Hey, did this deal close? I would look back at every deal or every entity, every fund or every website you've ever submitted a bid to, and follow up with, hey, what do you have that you haven't closed on? What do you have that fell through? Or I made an offer, 60 days ago. Did it close? Oh, it didn't. Well, I'm still interested in the deal. This is such a huge untapped field of deal flow because people will often go for the rosiest or the best, the cherry of the cherry deals, and they don't look at anything else on there. Well, everybody's bidding for those top 20%. There's a lot in that middle 50% that may not be grand slam deals, but they're singles, doubles, triples that can add a lot of value. And a lot of people bid on those, and then they'll either just walk away from the deal because they don't like the due diligence, or they didn't raise the capital, or the capital walk. So that's one big thing, is looking at some of the different spreadsheets, the different websites, and reaching back out to the sellers of those deals. And if you're seeing a website that's had the same deal listed for 6 months or a year, that would be your number one priority, because that's one of the things that we're doing. We're looking at lists that have stuff that's like, it was listed a year ago and it's still for sale. Well, great. That's a motivated seller if I've ever seen one, for the most part. And I'm willing to bet that they're more motivated now to move that asset than they were a year ago. And a lot of people looked at that deal, oh, it's old, I'm not going to look at it. If you put a fresh look on it, I bet you can often pick up deals at a big discount. And that's one actively thing that we and our students are doing, is going back, and I'm encouraging them to listen on those assets you made an offer on from this fund. Reach out to them, see who bought them, see if they close. If they didn't close, reach back up. But even those that bought them, those are potential buyers of deals for you as well. And that's the big thing. When you look at, okay, I found a deal, but I need some capital. And you look at so many people out there, kind of what we talked about the marketing more. There's a lot of people out there that'd be happy. An above average return to them means a whole variety of different things than what it means to you and me. We're sharks. We're real estate investors. We want to make 12% of our money, or an infinite rate of return on our money, right? But there's a lot of people out there that've got 50 grand, 100 grand sitting in accounts making zero, whether IRAs making nothing, sitting there waiting for somebody to reach out to them. There's people who have money sitting on the sidelines from an old IRA or old 401k that all they're hearing is a doom and gloom, and they want to put something in to either keep up with or at least make something versus nothing. And you guys and gals, people all across the country, you have the opportunity, if you can find those deals that make sense. If somebody's finding a deal at 8-9%, most people are like, oh, I don't want to do with that because I got to get paid money out there. Well, I think you need to look at where you're raising your capital from and give a realistic approach. We've always got to pivot or counter our marketing and markets. So it should be the same for when you're raising capital. I'm not paying 12%. There's too much money out there. I'll offer you 4 to 6%. It's the same type of opportunity in demand, supply and demand. A lot of supply of money, demand for deals. So investors looking to put something in place, hey, I'm not paying 12, 15%. I'm not giving you half. I'll give you 4 to 6% for 2 to 3 years. And then I'll sell the asset off, or we'll refinance out, or the deal will close out between now and then, a variety of things. So that's what I would look at. Like I said, those are a couple of the biggest things. What else do I have on my list here? You've got to market more. You've got to reach out to old leads. One of the things that I like doing is I like tracking assignments. And I've talked about this before in one of our workshops. If you're our webinar, stuff like that, you can go to every county for the most part and do a document search on their public records. Now, some counties, they want you to charge. You have access, like Wayne County in Michigan wants you to charge you. It's pretty cheap. And you can literally go and look for an assignment of mortgage search, or an assignment search. And an assignment, for those that don't know, in the note business, when I buy a note from somebody, let's say it's Goodman Investments, all right, and they've got notes for sale. And if I buy a note from them, what gets transferred is not a deed if it's a mortgage, it's an assignment of mortgage that gets transferred. So you can literally go to the county clerk, county recorder's office, and do a search for assignments, and you will be able to see who bought which note, And what's great, I'll give you an example. We did this morning. One of my students, one of my one-on-one students, was interested in a note. He saw on a website, the property's not too far from him. And when he looked initially, it looked like it was the name of a company, Fremont Loan and Investments. Okay, well, that company's been out of business for a couple of years. It's like, well, that's who's showing. I was like, no, let's take a look. So we actually got in the county recorder's office. We looked at assignments. We actually found that Fremont Loan Investments was originally the original loan company, but that note had been sold 4 times. It actually been sold. We saw 2 assignments recorded on the same day, and a third one 3 days later. So it looks like somebody bought that note, a fund bought it and sold it, and they recorded the assignments because the fund that bought it never recorded it originally until the new buyer. Well, what did we find? Did we find one buyer? Potentially. Actually, we found 3 buyers, because the firms that were also in the assignments were buyers, but also sellers. So we found 3 sources for him to buy deals from. Reached out, made a phone call this morning, reached out. They're already engaged in a conversation to buy this note, but also to look what else is on their portfolio that they're looking to get rid of, performing and non-performing. So that's one of the things. Follow up with your folks. Now, one of the great things about what we're doing now with this, tweaking our live stream and stuff like that. And once again, thank you guys for joining us. If you have a question, you can actually type it, whether you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, I think even Twitter on here, but you can type in a question and it will actually pop up on my screen here to see it. So a little bit more engaged with our audience out there. Encourage you to definitely ask questions. So if you've got questions, feel free to ask them, and we'll be glad to focus on what best we can for you in getting that question. If I don't know the answer to the question, we don't see it, we'll always try to follow up with you as well. Like I said, if you'd like to talk with me, it's pretty easy. All you got to do is go to talkwithscottcarson.com and encourage you to schedule a phone call. Book a call with me now. Talkwithscottcarson.com, name, email, and it'll pick a time. It'll link you directly to my calendar to see what's available. So I love hearing from investors, whether you're new or seasoned. Love to talk with you, see about what your goals are for the year, and see if we can't help you get there out there. And I also want to throw out a big thing. We do have a lot of people really took us up on this offering. It's a really great little deal. If you're listening to this too in the future, sorry, and we run specials all the time, but we've got a great little thing that we do. We have something called our Note Weekend class. Many people are looking to get started in buying, performing, and non-performing notes, and we've been teaching this stuff since 2010, closing on thousands of deals and raised millions of dollars, not only for us, but also with our students and stuff like that. So encourage you, if you go to noteweekend.com, click on that link. There's actually a special around a bump sale that actually ends today. Started at $1. I think it's up to $44, $45. Normally $99. So 40, looks like 44, 45 people taking advantage of that. They get a big discount price. It's a one-day class with replay. So check it out by going to noteweekend.com. Click on that link and get signed up. We'll send you the replays. It's about a 6-hour class. It's a great starting point. We talk a little about how to find deals, how we find them directly from banks, how we fund them, and how we contact IRA investors, show you how we do that. And then also flip, how we make money with exit strategies and rely on vendors to make things happen out there. So like I said, the first two, going back, because I wanted to say the third one for you on the three things you really need to focus on this year is obviously, one is market more. Okay. Got to market more. You got to find the time to do it at night, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. It doesn't have to be money driven. If you got a limited budget, then rely heavily on LinkedIn, on Meetup Groups, on if you got an email. So you're sending an email out to your database once a week. Okay. Got to market more. Going out to networking events if you can do that, or conferences. I know that may cost a little bit of money, but start giving out. Look, there's plenty of live webinars and stuff out there. That's the first thing. The second thing is follow up. Follow up with folks you've made offers on. Follow up with everybody. Not enough people are doing that because inherently most investors are lazy. They just want the bottom rungs, the low-hanging fruit. If you go up above that with a little bit of work, a little bit of follow-up, you will often find more deals that have been untouched because just nobody's reaching out. And also too, a lot of investors that bought stuff, they're not great marketers, and they're looking for somebody to reach out to them. So that's the second thing, is market more, okay? And the third thing I want to share with you to help you in this year, and this doesn't come from me, this comes from amazing, I guess you could say, really true real life goals out there. You got to do the third thing. And this doesn't have to be anything difficult. It's something I think we all see what's taking place in the market across all the platforms. You've got to embrace video. And that's the number 3 thing that you guys really need to focus on. Now, this does not need to be a live hour podcast, live streaming thing. There's so many platforms out there. If you've got a smartphone, all right, embracing video will get the word out what you're doing. And it's not a get found fast thing. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of content, sharing it. Start off with your 5 basic videos about you, what you're looking for, what your long-term goals are. Those are things that you would repeat on a regular basis. But the reason why those things are so important and why you want to share those, that builds natural rapport with people. People out there, just like you, are looking for solutions. We've all got problems. We're all either looking to find more deals, raise more capital, do better things for our life, our family, our friends, our kids, our spouses. We need opportunities. We need solutions to our problems. Well, you've got the solution, whether it is investing you in fix and flips or landlords or Airbnbs or my favorite performing and non-performing notes. You have the answer. You just got to share it. Now, if you had the true cure for COVID, you would share the heck out of it, right? Well, you have the cure to people's problems with your actions, with what you're focused on. Okay, so share it. And video, everything is video these days and platforms. If you're not embracing video and starting to shoot little videos, we're not talking long. Like I've got an amazing student, Catherine Bell, who's doing short videos, like 15 to 1 minute videos, sharing them to YouTube, sharing them to LinkedIn, sharing other places. And she's getting bombarded with people that are really starting to binge her content. She's just sharing short little videos and getting a lot of people to reach out to her. I love what you're doing. I want more. People want to surround themselves with doers. Are you a doer or you're a wanna-doer? Well, we don't want to hang out with the wannabes. We want to hang out with actually people that are taking action. If you do a little bit. We're not talking a tremendous amount of things. But if you do something consistent on a regular basis and give it time to grow, it's kind of like that upswing. If you figure, I saw a great analogy this weekend in an event that I was on. And when we have any golfers on here, I think we've got some people that love golf or like to gamble a little bit or things. So if you get golfing, people like to go out and play for hand the golf. It may be, oh, hey, we'll pay $1 a hole, which is great. But if you really want to make it interesting, let's start you off at 10 cents a hole, but double it each hole. So on hole 1, it's only 10 cents. Hole 2, it's only 20 cents. Hole 3, 40. Hole 4, 80. Hole 5, $1.60. Hole 6, $3.20. Hole 7, $6.40. Hole 8, $14. You start getting that. You get into those later rounds, that doubling goes up dramatically. Well, it's kind of that same place. It's that same analogy with marketing. At first, you're not going to see a lot of traction. You got to give it time for those seeds to sprout. But eventually, you do a little bit more each week, one thing each day, one thing each week, depending on what your schedule is. You're going to see a big increase. You just got to give it time for it to roll out. You got to give time for it to catch fire. You got to get time for people to start paying attention and going on with what's going on. So I highly encourage you to embrace it. It's never been easier to start doing video. I mean, we're live streaming here to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 platforms at one time on this, plus turning this into a podcast, actually a true audio podcast, that's 9, and then taking and creating a fully transcribed blog out of this is 10. So there's a whole variety of ways to do one thing and share it in a variety of ways without having it cost a lot. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. 95% of people don't do anything. Only really 5% of investors out there, people that want to be investors, actually take action. Now, if you look at your activities, it's really easy to tell, are you a doer or are you a want-to-doer? There's so many people that want to do something. I want to do this. I want to make money in real estate. I want to do this in notes. It's all about the doer side of things. Are you doing things on a regular basis to attract that? Look, I want to be the greatest tomato farmer in Austin because I love tomatoes. But if I'm not planting tomatoes, my wants aren't going to end up doing them. I have to go do it to fulfill my wants. I don't know if that analogy makes sense. I just pulled that out of my rear because it popped in my head. But no, I love tomatoes, but I don't want to be the best tomato farmer in Austin. Trust me, okay? What I'm getting at is you have to start taking actions. Now, it doesn't have to be anything difficult. Those 3 things that we've talked about are little things you can do to start to get the ball rolling. First thing, if you want to market more, you got to figure out where you're going to market. Do I have a list? Do I have a database? Do I have social media profiles? Do I need to start connecting with people on there? Do I need to start uploading a video or doing a little live stream, whether it's Instagram Live or whatever? Where's my audience at that I want to market to make things happen? Well, my audience isn't on video. Okay, but do they watch video? No. You mean they don't watch TV? They don't watch anything? Well, yeah, they do. Well, share. I've got a really good friend out of Detroit, and he does a great job. He has this podcast. I won't share his name, but he interviews all these professionals. And he does a great production, great blue screen. He does a lot of great stuff intro and out, but he's struggling with it. And I asked him, so why are you struggling? He goes, well, my audio downloads are good, but I really want to attract more people on the video side. And I said, well, let's jump over to your YouTube channel. Well, I went over to his YouTube channel. He's only got 107 subscribers. He's been doing this for 5 years. And every video has no comments. It's like 1 view, 0 views. I'm like, man, that sucks. And he's getting engagement on Facebook when he's doing his lives, but his YouTube, what is YouTube? YouTube is the second largest search engine owned by the number 1 search engine. Okay. And he's not doing anything with that search engine. He's literally eliminated, I would want to say 26 to 74, actually 74% of people out there watch YouTube of some sort. Only 26% of the world or the Americans literally listen to podcasts and but that number is growing, obviously. So he's eliminated 74% of the audience. I'm like, listen, you just got to spend a little time on here. Take what you're doing, copy, paste, take the bio. Little simple things you can do to pique your interest. And that's literally what I want to share with you guys. You guys don't have to spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. You don't even spend $1,000 a month. Okay? Just start doing a little bit extra. Start sharing your stories. Start sharing your past and present case studies, deals that you failed at. This is why we didn't do this deal. This is a deal that I did 10 years ago. Here's a deal that I'm working on. Those are such valuable things to get out to your audience. And you just got to start sharing that information out there, and you'll start finding stuff. And, we're planning on having, next round of videos here that we go through in the live streams that we're doing, the podcast episodes, is going through, hey, what's the market like in 2022? Focusing on states, focus on cities. We're really excited to have my friend Kelly Murphy, who's the head of business development for a title company here in Austin. They're doing their 2022 economic forecast with one of the best economic advisors here in Texas. So we're real excited about that, to have that on here. But we've all had to change some things, tweak some things, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Look at what you're doing. If you're not happy with where your numbers are last year, it's not anybody's fault except your own. Well, I want to blame it on COVID. Okay, blame it on COVID. That's not going to help anything. I want to blame it on getting laid off. That's great, but that's not going to help you going forward. You hold the keys to your success in your hands with what you do on a day in, day out basis. And if you have a big goal, great, write it down. But start reverse engineering those numbers to take a look at what you need to be doing on a daily basis to build upon. You could have this amazing goal out here, but if you're not going to do A, B, and C to get to Z, Z doesn't make any sense. Let's focus on A, B, and C for you. All right. And if you're new to this, you've been dabbling, you've been taking classes, trying to do some stuff, but not really finding success, the number one thing that you can do besides the things we talked about here, start building an investor list. Start building you a warm market list. An email database. Take all those business cards of people you've met at RIA Club meetings or networking events or off the coffee, poster board at Starbucks, and take those people and put them in a database. You could use like Keep.com, formerly Infusionsoft. They were really great. They're one of our partners. We love them. Great way to start marketing to your database. Start getting the word out on what you're doing. Start, as we like to say, that wafting of fumes of letting people know what the heck you're doing. People want solutions, and the only way to get the word out en masse is for you to share solutions. Gone are the days like, I'm going to make 50 phone calls and talk to 50 people. Yeah, you could do that, but wouldn't it be smarter for you to take those 50 phone calls, those 50 people, or the 500 people you don't get to, send an email out and have the 10 people that are interested be higher, more valuable phone calls because they've said, I'm interested, versus, hey, don't bother me. What are you selling me? You sell me some MLM? I don't need any vegetables or vitamins or soap on a rope or whatever. That's one of the most market. You got to market like it's the 21st century. And as I say, Scotty's, I'm here to beam me up, Captain. I'm giving her all she's got for you. But that would be the first thing you want to do. Put people into a database, a CRM. Keep is our preferred vendor. It's who we use. If you need an introduction, let me know. We're glad to introduce you because often our guy has better deals than what's online. So keep.com, KEAP.com. But start connecting with your audience once a week. I know if you've got a job and you've worked 40, 50, 60 hours a week, you want to come home and just binge, whatever it's Witcher, or you want to watch those playoff games on the weekend. I get it, but do something for your business. Do one thing this week for your business and your long-term. We're all going to be in real estate 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, maybe the rest of our lives for some of us. Every person that's in your database is valuable, and you're not bothering them. You're not spamming them. You're actually adding content. Now, what do I say? Just talk about what you got going on. Hey, here's a short little video on what we're doing. Hey, it was good to connect with you. I'm just trying to expand my network here in the area. I mean, LinkedIn is one of the easiest ways to do that too. If you don't have a database, go to LinkedIn, start connecting with other real estate investors. Do a search, real estate investor Austin, real estate investor Rhode Island. Where are you guys located? If you're watching this, type in the chat roll where you're at. And, those are the things to keep in mind. Every market's a little bit different, depending on if you're shut down or not, but there's opportunities in each market. Some markets have great real estate clubs. Others you're kind of remote, so you got to get more creative. There's untapped resources all around us, untapped deals. All you got to do is market to them and go out there. There's plenty of money sitting on the sidelines, okay? And there's plenty of deals at that second level, not the low-hanging fruit, but that second level. If you'll do some marketing, do a little bit of outreach, a little bit of follow-up, you will find some really great stuff that really gives you an above-average return on your investment and your time. And you'll build confidence. I know a lot of people struggle with confidence out there, and I get it. What do I do? What should I do? What can I do? You know what you have to do? You just got to put one foot in front of the other and take it one day at a time. And, that my mom would say, one day at a time, sweet Jesus. Rome was not built in a day. It takes time. You've got to build some momentum. You got to plant some roots and stick with it. That's the one big thing that I see a lot of people screwing up with out there is they go from an event to event, meetup group, or they take a class and another class, and they start doing what that instructor or that educator has taught them, and then they go on to something else and they stop. You got to give things time. You got to give what you're doing time for those seeds to germinate, those roots to sprout, so you see some stuff going on. Like if you follow me, you guys know that I garden on the weekends or here since we're not traveling as much. And honestly, one of my favorite plants is the avocado. Okay, don't get me wrong. I love avocados, guacamole, avocado toast. I love throwing it in my salads, whatever. Okay, avocados have this big freaking root, right? Actually, I got a bowl of them right here. I haven't planted yet. So, avocados have this big ass root. Okay, this big seed. Okay. And when you plant this, some people will plant this in a little bottle of water, and it takes a while for it to sprout. You got to peel the skin off and let it sit there in water. And what happens is that root comes out first, not the top part. The root comes out. Now, avocados will have a long root. Usually it's about a good 4 to 6 inches deep before they sprout out more than like an inch in the top. And that's many of you have to realize you got to put in those tap roots first of getting things done, getting some marketing done before you see a lot of growth. Okay. If you're going to a local RIA club, they tell you, hey, you need to be showing up consistently for 6 months before you really see any traction. And it's kind of the same thing. It's not 6 months with avocado seeds, but it's often 6 weeks. If I plant this in the ground, it'll be 6 weeks before I see something pop up. And I still water it. We still make sure it gets sun, make sure it's in good soil. But I'm not joking. I think Steph counted it and said I had like 20 avocado trees that are growing anywhere from a foot to like 4 foot tall here. And I love this plant. It's going to take me 3 years before they really start bearing fruit, at least 2 to 3 years before they bear any fruit. I still love them. It's still something I'm interested in, but I know that the payoff is going to pay off exponentially because if I got a plant that didn't cost me anything, it's going to feed me. It just takes a little bit of time and water and focused on that stuff on a regular basis, a little bit each day, twice a week watering it, making sure it's in a nice warm spot here because of the cold weather. But that's your business. Look at it. Are you feeding your business a little bit each week? Are you in that tap phase, or have you been in a tap root phase for a while? It's time for you to sprout. I know a lot of people struggle with that, in that they go from class to class. Like I said before, they don't know where to begin. They've been sold a bunch of crap that's not working in their market, and they need somebody to talk to. And like I said before, everybody, we're here to help. That's what the podcast is for, the Note Closer Show podcast. Yes. Do we focus primarily on distressed debt? Yes. Do we focus primarily on note investing? Yes. But I encourage you, if you're struggling, you don't know which way to go. I had a guy, sent me a friend request on Facebook last night or yesterday afternoon. He was like, hey, and I was like, hey, thanks for the friend request. How can I serve you? He's like, well, I'm looking for deals in the Southwest. I'm like, what's your niche? All the Southwest. I'm like, well, you haven't told me what you're looking for. 157 to 200 units. Okay. That's pretty tough. Yeah, I'm brand new. Okay. Let's talk about it. If you're brand new, hey, pick up the phone or go on, schedule a call with me, talkwithscottcarson.com, book a call with me. It's free to do. There's no obligation. I just want to help you out. I want you to make the most of what's going on in the market. And I'll tell you, hey, do this, do that, do that. We've worked with investors for 20 years and helped them get on the right path to success. And then here's the one thing that unites all investors. We're all marketers. We're all in the marketing space, marketing for deals, marketing for capital. You just have to focus your marketing on what niche you're focused on, whether it's apartments or notes or rentals or wholesaling. Marketing is a tool that we all need. And unfortunately, most people don't share that. Most of your educators or groups don't focus a lot on marketing in today's world. Yes, you have the bandit signs, the yellow letters. I get that, but that's not marketing in the 21st century. And so, like I said, talkwithscottcarson.com, book it. They'll take you directly in my calendar and book a spot. Love to visit with you. Love to hear from our audience across the world, across the social world, across the metaverse on what you're doing, what you're focused on. But literally, guys, going back to kind of a quick little wrap up before we let you go. Once again, the first things that you need to focus on more so as an investor in 2022, you got to market more. Got to take the time to market more because that's who's seeing deals, is those that market more. 2, you got to follow up. Follow up with people companies, people you've made offers with, people you've had conversations with. Hey, what do you have in your books you're looking to sell? What's on your desk that you'd like to get rid of this quarter? Hey, what didn't close that I could take a look at? Did you close in those deals last quarter at the end of the year? What didn't close in Q4 that you want to move in Q1? And then, of course, number 3, this goes into marketing, but embracing video. Not only embracing video and talking about raising capital, but your deal flow and just sharing your story, sharing your journey. You have the answer. You have the solution. You just got to share it. If you had the cure for polio and you never shared it, shame on you. If you had the cure to cancer, you'd share it. Realize that, ladies and gentlemen, that your energy, and you identifying with somebody out there who's looking for that solution. No, you don't need to be Scott Carson. No, you don't need to be Ron LeGrand. No, you don't need to be Sean Terry. You just need to be you, okay? Because people identify with like-minded individuals, and people identify with you. And you will attract a different audience than me. I attract a different audience than the next guy. That's the beautiful thing. Just share what you're doing. Share your journey. People want to root for you. That's why we love underdog stories. We love hearing about the comebacks. You think about one of the best comeback stories here. It pops in my head, and I'm thinking about this right now, is Isaiah Thomas, who's playing in the NBA right now. He didn't play for 2 years because of hip injury, stuff like that. And this year he started off playing, got back, and is doing well. That's a great story. You talk about I didn't do very well yesterday, but Dak Prescott being out all of last year with a broken ankle and coming back and leading the Cowboys to a 12-5 playoff, regular season record, only to fail in the playoffs. So, look, we all love stories. We all love come back. Share your story. We're all an underdog in some sort of fashion, but go out, take some action. And I think one of the things that people struggle with too, and this could be another time, another article, but if you got people that initially respond negatively to what you're doing, those aren't your right people. And there's a lot of Debbie Downers and negative Nancys out there that have a dark soul for a whole. And you will never have somebody above you doing more than you talk derogatory about you, because they know what it takes to show up day in, day out, week in, week out, and keep marketing, keep pushing towards your goals, because your goals are awesome. You can achieve your goals. You just got to put a plan in place. And then the number one thing is take action, ladies and gentlemen. So I encourage you, take action, go out, kick some ass, and we look forward to seeing you all the time, everybody. But otherwise, this is Scott Carson, the Note Guy. Once again, check out our class. We host it the third Saturday of just about every month. It's Note Weekend, and I highly encourage you to check it out. We've got a great special run on it right now, noteweekend.com. Sale ends at midnight tonight for that. Hopefully we'll see you all on Monday night at Note Night America. But also, if you're watching this on YouTube or do enjoy watching stuff on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button while you're there. Just go to weclosenotes.tv. That's weclosenotes.tv, and it should pop up to subscribe. But other than that, go out, take some action, buddy, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.